Okay. So good afternoon, my dear friends. How are you all doing? Okay, fantastic. So my dear friends, we are on to chapter 4, markets. I would rather prefer it to call markets. It's really, in reality, it's called price determination in different market forms. You know, it is containing rather three more chapters within it or three more units within it. Like chapter 4 is divided into three subunits. Today we will complete the first one, which basically focuses on meanings and types of markets. Before I start today's class, let me tell you something about this chapter. This chapter or this unit, that is chapter 4 unit 1, this chapter 4 unit 1 is, you can say, a summarized discussion on a more detailed topic to be discovered, in the upcoming classes. In upcoming classes, whatever we discuss today, we will discuss that in the upcoming classes in a much more detailed manner. Okay. So, sir, are you trying to tell us that today is like a basic understanding of different market forms? Yes. In fact, chapter 4, unit 1 is focused on that to help you understand the different types of markets. As the name is very crystal clear in our book, meaning and types of markets. So it's very focused. So therefore, I would request you to curtail one thing. Whenever I will explain, let's say I'm explaining monopoly market or perfect competition market, you might feel that, sir, you have not shown us the graph. Sir, you have not shown us the entire detail. It is because the particular, prerequisite for this chapter, the particular prerequisite for this chapter is limited to whatever I will be saying. A much more detailed discussion, a much more lengthy discussion is going to be held in the upcoming week. So in that regard, I'll request you all to keep some patience. Okay, you will discover what we are doing, right? So the only request is to have patience, to keep patience. Rest will follow. Okay. Yes, sir, we have understood. So now the topic is meaning and types of markets. So the first question that should come in your mind is, what is a market? What is a market? My dear friends, first of all, keep this in mind. Market doesn't necessarily mean a physical place. It can be an online presence. It can be a metaverse. Nowadays, the word metaverse is very famous. So it can be an offline presence, an online presence, a metaverse presence. What is important is, for a market, what is important is the potential buyer of a commodity should be able to meet the seller. Potential buyer should be able to meet the seller so that they are able to strike a deal. They could strike a deal regarding the price at which the exchange is going to take place, the quantity that is going to be exchanged. That is what is important, my dear friends. Acha, is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is. So what is important in markets is, please remember, friends, what is important in market is that there should be a place where the potential buyers and sellers of a product should be able to meet and strike a deal. It should be a place where the potential buyers of a product and sellers of a product should be able to meet and strike a deal regarding maybe the price of a commodity, the quantity that is to be sold, etc., etc., etc. Understood? So what is a market? Place where buyers of a commodity and sellers of a commodity are able to meet and strike a deal, deciding what? Deciding price of a commodity, quantity of a commodity. Remember, we say potential buyers because you call somebody a buyer when they have actually bought your commodity. So a place where potential buyers and sellers can come and strike a deal. A place where potential buyers and sellers can come and strike a deal. अच्छा, तो मार्केट वो जगह है जहां पे जो पोटेंशियल बायर है और सेलर है एक दूसरे के साथ मिल सकते हैं और एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं. मार्केट्स के लिए ये इंपॉर्टेंट बिल्कुल नहीं है कि एक फिजिकल प्लेस हो, ऑनलाइन एक्सचेंज भी चलेगा. My dear friends, is that crystal clear? Yes or no, please? Before I get into the types of markets, please confirm that. Come on, friends, please confirm that. Okay, sir. Sir, it's crystal clear. Sir, it's crystal clear. So let's go ahead then. Now, my dear friends, on the basis of types of markets, there are following types here. Okay, we can classify market on the basis of area. We can classify market on the basis of time. We can classify markets on the basis of transactions. We can classify market on the basis of competition, on the basis of regulation, and on the basis of volume. Okay, so one by one we will discuss. So there are different types on different basis. So like on area, there will be some subtypes. On the basis of time, there will be some subtypes. On the basis of transactions, there will be some subtypes. So each one of them we are going to discuss. All right, let's go about it, friends. So let's talk about it on the basis of area. Let's talk about the types of markets on the basis of area. So my dear friends, on the basis of area, we have 4 types of markets. Okay, local market, regional market, national market, and international market. I'll repeat it for you all. Local market, regional market, national market, international market. I'll give you example. Okay, see, local market is the one where the buying and selling takes place in a very small area. Let's say, for example, in your family, somebody is going to cook vegetables, fruits. They need fruits, they need vegetables. They are going to cook vegetables. So you go down in your local area, you buy that and bring it home. That is a local market. Then there is something called regional market. The product where, you know, region specific, where you have this region specific product. For example, you know, in Kashmir, you know, in J&K, that is Kashmir, you know, you obviously know that winter takes place a lot, you know. So a shawl, Kashmiri shawl, is very famous there. Yes, people all around India may buy Kashmiri shawl. I am not saying that. But because of the cold in Kashmir, it's much popular there. Kashmiri shawl. It might be called Pashmina, maybe I am wrong, but it is Kashmiri shawl. So that is regional market. Then there is this national market. Now, my dear friends, what is a national market? Product that is generally, you know, bought and sold throughout our country. Product that is bought and sold generally throughout our country, generally speaking. You know, for example, you know, you could say there can be a book on Hindi. Generally speaking, it's not that everybody must know Hindi, it's not compulsory, but generally across the country it is sold. So there can be this national market or any other commodity. Let's say cricket bats. You know, there is this, if you all are into cricket, there is a bat which is called Kashmir willow. It basically is referring to the wood from where the wood has been used to make the bat. That is used throughout the country. That is national market. And finally, international market, when the whole world is a market for a product. Gold and silver. International market is import and export. International market is nothing but import and export. Products like gold, products like silver, that is traded throughout the world. I think I've explained all the areas correctly. Yes, sir. Local, restricted to a particular area. Regional, restricted to a particular region. It can be a particular state. It can be a particular group of states in the same direction. Let's say all the northeastern states, all the south states. It could be that. National is the entire country, India, right from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, right? And then there can be international products which is sold worldwide, India as well as outside. Yes, made in India product comes under national market. Made in India products, there are products having a tagline made in India. So yes, that is obviously there. And finally, international market is thoroughly traded throughout our world. Okay, sir. Crude oil, in fact, again, international market. Crude oil is again having international market. You know, India is buying from Russia. Nowadays, it is a lot in news. I'm sure you all are aware of it, considering the Russian-Ukraine crisis. Okay, now moving on. So this is the classification based on area. Now, on the basis of time, if we discuss, you know, there is this very short period market, there is this very short period market, long period market, and very long or secular period market. Now I am very sure that you all are aware of all this because we have done production and supply. Yes, sir, we are very aware of this. You know, very short period refers to a time period where in a market, supply of a commodity cannot be increased or decreased, like fruits and vegetables, perishable commodities. So if let's say from a particular tree, let's say 1,000 apples were available. So even if the supplier wants to give you 2,000 apples, he or she cannot, because only 1,000 apples were available on the tree that day or that particular month. Very short period, which is not enough to change supply at all. Supply cannot be changed at all during this period. In the very short period, my dear friends, supply cannot be changed at all. Then we come to short period. Short period refers to a time period where yes, supply can be changed, not by a lot, bit by bit, bit by bit. So can you give us an example? Obviously, we have discussed law of variable proportion. So let's say a factory has hired more labor and asking the labor to work overtime. That is short period. Obviously, you all remember in short period, there is something called fixed factor, and in short period, there is something called variable factor. I am very sure you will remember this. Yes, sir, we do. Next, my dear friends, comes to long period. Here, all the factors of production become variable. Here, all the factors of production become variable. So whatever you want, in whatever quantity you want, it can change. Yes, sir. And finally, very long period, secular market. I'll give you an example. First of all, in very long period is a time period where the entire market trend, entire market dynamics have changed. Sir, we did not understand. Okay. If you ask your parents or grandparents about the kind of products that were sold in the market 30 to 35 years back, if we ask, our parents will tell us the kind of products that were sold during those times would be, basically regular shirts and pants, less designer clothes, maybe. But today, the kind of products that is sold in the market are more of designer clothes. What am I trying to say? The kind of products that are being sold nowadays is entirely different from the kind of products that was sold during those days. Because the kind of demand during those days were different from the kind of demand that we have today. Today, let's say all of us are lucky that all of us, like when I'm teaching this class, all of us from the entire country and maybe outside India, people are attending this class, are able to attend this class. Do you think an online market like this would have existed 30 years back? Was it possible 30 to 40 years back to conduct a class like this where all of our students in ICI would be benefited? No, it wouldn't be possible. So see, the market dynamics have changed. The entire game has changed. That is very long period. Where not only supply has changed, but the kind of products that are supplied has also changed. That is very long period. I'm sure you have understood, sir. Understood, sir. Short and long period are generally, conceptual things where, you can make labor work overtime. So let's say if you are producing biscuits, if you can make labor work overtime and produce some more biscuits, that will become short period. And in long period, everything is variable. So my dear friends, I believe types of market on the basis of area and on the basis of time is absolutely clear. Please confirm me. Yes, it's absolutely crystal clear. It's absolutely crystal clear. So according to time, I will summarize it once again, and then I will summarize both of this in Hindi as well. Don't worry. See, very short period refers to time period where, the time period is so less that supply cannot be changed at all. At all. Fruits, vegetables, milk, local mother dairy and so many other brands are there nowadays that sell that packet milk. So that is very short period. Short period again refers to where factors are fixed and variable. Long run, all factors variable. Very long, where entire market dynamics have changed. The kind of product being bought and sold has changed. Okay. Now, sir, can you please summarize the two types of market in Hindi as well? Okay, let me do it for you. See, pay attention. एरिया के अनुसार चार तरीके के मार्केट्स होते हैं. लोकल मार्केट होता है, रीजनल, नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल. लोकल मार्केट का मतलब है दोस्तों जो एक छोटे एरिया में रेस्ट्रिक्टेड है, जैसे आप नीचे सब्जी खरीदने चले गए, वो हो गया लोकल मार्केट. रीजनल मार्केट एक एरिया, एक बड़े एरिया में रेस्ट्रिक्टेड, एक स्टेट में रेस्ट्रिक्टेड है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कश्मीरी शॉल, आसाम की चाय, दार्जिलिंग चाय. नेशनल मार्केट जो पूरे हिंदुस्तान में बिक रहा है, जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल दिया आपको किसी बुक का या कोई मेड इन इंडिया कमोडिटी का. और फाइनली इंटरनेशनल मार्केट जो सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान की बाउंड्रीज या इंडिया की बाउंड्रीज तक रेस्ट्रिक्टेड नहीं है, भारत की बाउंड्रीज तक रेस्ट्रिक्टेड नहीं है, इंडिया की बाउंड्रीज तक रेस्ट्रिक्टेड नहीं है, इट इज ऑल्सो आउटसाइड इंडिया. ओके, एंड देन इट्स ऑल्सो आउटसाइड इंडिया. ऑलराइट, एंड देन मूविंग ऑन टू अकॉर्डिंग टू टाइम पीरियड. टाइम पीरियड के अनुसार दोस्तों चार तरीके का मार्केट्स होता है. वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड जहां समय बहुत कम रहता है, शॉर्ट पीरियड जहां पे फिक्स्ड और वेरिएबल दोनों समय है, लॉन्ग पीरियड जहां पे वेरिएबल है, और वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड जहां पे पूरा मार्केट डायनामिक बदल जाता है. जिस तरीके की सामाने प्रोडक्ट्स खरीदे बेचे जा रहे हैं वो पूरी तरह से बदल जाता है, वो पूरी तरह से बदल जाता है. ओके, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. So now my dear friends, having said that, now we discuss the types of market on the basis of transactions. On the basis of transactions. So my dear friends, on the basis of transactions, we have two types of markets. You see, one is spot market or cash market. The other one is forward or future market. Spot or cash market is, you know, spot market or cash market. My dear friends, spot market or cash market basically means spot market or cash market basically means spot market or cash market basically means the market where immediately goods and services are being sold and exchanged for cash. So suppose I have this particular, let's say, remote in my hand. There is this remote in my hand. You all see there is this remote in my hand. So if I give you this remote, you pay me 2000. If I give you this remote, you pay me 2000. But immediately, when such kind of relationship you're talking about, that is referring to spot or cash market. That is referring to spot or cash market. Acha sir. Now, sir, what is forward or future market? Can you please tell us this? Yes, absolutely. See, forward and future market is a market. Please pay attention now. Where you enter into a transaction today. Come on, come again, sir. Forward and future market. Where you enter into a transaction today. I'll repeat. Where you enter into a transaction today. Where you enter into a transaction today. I'll repeat. Where you enter into a transaction today for a payment or settlement that is going to take place 1 year, 5 years, or maybe 10 years from now. Achha. Is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is so. That is forward or future market. Transaction you have entered today, agreement you have entered today, but transaction is taking place sometime later. Sir, can you give us an example of forward or a future market? Yes, definitely yes. I'll give you this example. Pay attention, please. See, let's say there is an exporter, Mr. A in India. Let's say there is an exporter. Let's say there is an exporter, Mr. A in India. Now this Mr. Exporter, Mr. A has exported some commodities. To US. So B in US has imported them. The agreement is that the product is worth $1,000. The product is worth $1,000. The product is worth $1,000. Okay. But the agreement is such that B will not pay $1,000 today. Agreement भले $1,000 का हो, पैसे B आज नहीं देने वाला. B कह रहा है कि भाई मैं पैसे 3 महीने बाद दूंगा. B is telling that B is going to pay the money 3 months later. B is telling that B is going to pay the money 3 months later. Okay. Now, my dear friends, when B is telling that B is going to pay the money 3 months later on, when B is telling that B is going to pay the money 3 months later on, now let's analyze the situation. A is afraid. You know why? Because A is going to receive $1,000 3 months later. Now today US dollar is trading at, let's say, rupees 80. today US dollar is trading at rupees 80. Just for example, है ना? If today US dollar is trading at rupees 80, A is afraid that, oh my God, if I get the money today, 1000 into 80, I will be able to receive 80,000 rupees. But what is A afraid of? That 3 months later, this $1 equals to rupees 80 might change to $1 equals to rupees 75. That is dollar may become weaker compared to rupee. This might happen. A is afraid of this. That what if $1 is rupees 80, it becomes 75. Then A is worried that, oh my God, then it will become 75,000 only. Then it will become 35,000 only. B is worried. A is worried. Guys, do you agree with this worry? Did you understand this much, yes or no? So that I can tell the story further. Because this is the story going on. Is this much part of the story clear? Absolutely yes or no? If clear, write crystal clear in the chat, please. Fatafat, come on, guys. Yes, sir, this much is crystal clear. Okay, great. Now, what does A do? A goes to a bank. A goes to the bank and tells, dear bank, dear bank. What does A say? A tells the bank, dear bank, I have a fear, bank. So bank tells, what is your fear? Bank tells, why are you afraid? A tells that today $1 is 80. What if it becomes 75? So bank tells that I will help you. Bank tells A that let's enter into a contract today. That doesn't matter what is the value of $1 3 months later. Let's enter into an agreement today at a particular value, let's say 79 rupees. So bank has entered into a contract with A of $1 79 rupees. That is 3 months later. When A gets $1,000, A is going to sell this $1,000 to bank at 79 per dollar. Agreement is taken place today. Transaction will take place 3 months later. This, my dear friends, is called forward or future market. This, my dear friends, is called forward or future market. Yes. Because A was afraid of loss. That if $1 is 80 now, it might become 75. So A has entered into an agreement at 79. So now A can sleep in peace. A can sleep in peace. A can relax. A can think that okay. Let's wait for 3 months now. The fact that I have entered into an agreement at 79 kills my risk. So see, when has A entered into agreement? Today. But when is the actual settlement going to take place? See, if you talk about A has entered into an agreement today. But if you talk about settlement is going to take place 3 months later. Settlement, my dear friends, is going to take place 3 months later. And hence our answer. I hope I am crystal clear, my dear friends. That is a forward or a future market where the intention is to conduct the transaction at a later date. All right, sir, crystal clear. Sir, can you explain the two markets in Hindi also? Okay, let me give it to you. देखिए, ट्रांजैक्शंस के अनुसार मार्केट्स दो तरीके के होते हैं. एक होता है स्पॉट या कैश मार्केट, दूसरा होता है फॉरवर्ड या फ्यूचर मार्केट. स्पॉट या कैश मार्केट में क्या होता है? आप आज ट्रांजैक्शन में एंटर करते हो. किस लिए आज आप एंटर करते हो? कि भाई आज जब आप एंटर करते हो ना, तो आप आज ही सामान लोगे, पैसे दोगे. जैसे कि आम बात होता है ना, आप बाजार से कोई सब्जी खरीदिए, खाने का सामान खरीदिए, यही आप देखोगे. फॉरवर्ड और फ्यूचर मार्केट क्या होता है? जहां पे आप आज अग्रीमेंट बनाते हो, बट ट्रांजैक्शन आप 3 महीने 6 महीने या एक लेटर डेट पर करते हो. रेट आज ही डिसाइड हो जाता है. इसे हम लोग फॉरवर्ड या फ्यूचर मार्केट कहते हैं. इधर पे इमीडिएट डिलीवरी का इंटेंशन नहीं रहता. स्पॉट और कैश इमीडिएट होता है. स्पॉट और कैश इमीडिएट ट्रांजैक्शन होता है. एवरीबॉडी राइट इट डाउन इन द चैट. स्पॉट और कैश इमीडिएट ट्रांजैक्शन. Everybody write this down in the chat, please. Okay, sir, we got it, sir. Sir, we have understood. Now let's talk about the regulations. Let's talk about the regulations or the laws. Regulations or the laws. So see, there is this regulated market and there is this unregulated market. See, regulated market, my dear friends, is like a statutory market, which is registered under a statutory body. Sir, can you tell us how? Like the stock exchange market. Stock exchange market is the market which is regulated by SEBI. So SEBI is looking into the fact, that something is not, going fishy. Kuch gadbar na chal raha ho. SEBI is looking into that. SEBI is ensuring in a regulated market that something fishy is not going on. Okay, sir, we understood. That, my dear friends, is a regulated market where nothing wrong is going on is ensured. Regulated market, statutory body market. SEBI is the example. So SEBI is governing stock exchanges. SEBI is governing stock exchanges. SEBI is governing stock exchanges. So since SEBI is governing stock exchanges, all the stock exchanges have to register with SEBI. They have to follow the rules and regulations of SEBI. For this, SEBI has been given a special power per se. That, my dear friends, makes it a regulated market. That is a market where buying and selling is taking place, but under certain rules specified by a regulator. To the contrary, there is unregulated market, like your weekly supermarket. Nobody is fixing the rules here. The regular bazaar that you visit, that is, my dear friends, unregulated market. There is no restrictions whatsoever. There is no rules and regulations whatsoever. Stock exchanges, let's say they open up at 9 o'clock, then let's say they close at 5, or let's say they close at 3. So there is a proper regulation. In vegetable market, do you think something like this happens? Absolutely not. This, my dear friends, is unregulated market. Unregulated market. Sir, we understood. So there it is. अगर किसी मार्केट में एक रेगुलेटर है जो देख रहा है कि मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है, तो वो रेगुलेटेड मार्केट है. परंतु अगर कोई रेगुलेटर नहीं हो तो वो अनरेगुलेटेड मार्केट है. एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट, डू यू नो गाइस, बिफोर 1991 even stock market was unregulated. The Harshad Mehta scams took place. After that, the laws became more stringent. Before that, even stock market was unregulated. There was nothing called SEBI that time. Before 91, I am talking about. Okay. So I will give you a simple example. Okay. All of us have visited school sometime in our life. Now, if in a school, there is a monitor, class monitor, that is like a regulated market. But if nobody is the monitor, that is unregulated market. Simply speaking. Okay. All right. Now, on the basis of volume of trade, there are two types of markets. Volume means how much quantity buying and selling is taking place. How much quantity buying and selling is taking place on the basis of volume of trade we are talking about. On the basis of volume of trade we are talking about. So my dear friends, if you talk about volume of trade, now, there is this wholesale market and then there is retail market. In wholesale market, what is happening? The manufacturer is buying in large, the wholesaler is buying in large quantity from the manufacturer. The wholesaler is buying in the large quantity from manufacturer. The wholesaler is buying in large quantity from the manufacturer and is selling in small quantity to the retailer. What did I say there? Retailer doesn't mean anything. Whatever it is. So what is happening here is wholesaler is buying in large quantities from the manufacturer and selling in further smaller quantities to the retailer. That, my dear friends, is a wholesale market. It's like a B2B transaction going on, right? Manufacturer selling in large quantity to wholesaler, wholesaler selling in small quantity to retailer. So this wholesale market is taking place on a larger quantity, in massive terms, in greater quantities. Wholesale market taking place, right? In massive quantities, wholesale market is taking place. Acha, sir. But my dear friends, when you come to retail market, Retail market, my dear friends, is in smaller quantities. You know, retailer sells to ultimate consumer. Obviously, consumer buys in smaller quantities, so retailer sells in smaller quantities. Got it, sir? So the larger volume of trade is taking place in wholesale market, smaller quantity is taking place in retail market. There is one more difference between wholesaler and retailer. Do you know, guys? No, sir, you tell us. You tell us, sir. Do you know wholesaler generally deals in one line of commodities? So suppose somebody is a wholesaler of chips, they will generally deal with chips. But you see a retailer, you go to a nearby shop, retailer will have chips, they will have cold drink, they will have pen, stationery, etc. So retailer deals in multiple variety of commodities. That is a unique point. So to explain it in Hindi once again, wholesaler क्या करता है? Manufacturer से ज्यादा quantity में खरीद के retailer यानी कि दुकानदार को small quantities में बेचता है. जबकि retailer जो कि दुकानदार है, वो wholesaler से small quantity में खरीद के उससे भी small quantity में customer को बेचता है. तो wholesale trade ज्यादा मात्रा में होता है, retail trade छोटी मात्रा में होता है. Wholesaler एक तरीके के commodities में deal करता है, retailer multiple commodities में deal करता है. Now, my dear friends, I hope it's crystal clear on the basis of volume of trade. Please confirm it once. Please confirm it once. Absolutely clear. Absolutely clear, sir. So on the basis of volume of trade, there is this wholesale market and then there is this retail market. Got it, sir? Now, very, very important. Now all of us will slow down. Very, very important. I would say the most important, because what now we are starting, it is also going to continue in the next 2 to 3 classes. So very important. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Okay. My dear friends, here it is called B2B because manufacturer is also a business, retailer is also a business. So wholesaler is buying from a business and selling it to a business. Now coming back to a competitive market structure, competition or types of market structure. So we are discussing types of markets on the basis of competition or on the basis of market structure. Types of markets on the basis of competition or on the basis of market structure. Types of market on the basis of competition or on the basis of market structure. Right, sir? Yes, friends, right. Types of markets on the basis of competition or market structure, as we call it. All right. So let's have a discussion. Let's see what we are able to hang on to. All right. So see, there can be two things: whether there is a competition or whether there is no competition. A straight question. So if there is a competition, see, if there is no competition, it is called a monopoly market, like Indian Railways. Does Indian Railway have any competition? Absolutely not. So there is a monopoly of railways. That is a monopoly market. Normally, government doesn't encourage monopoly in the private sector. In the government sector, obviously, there has to be some kind of monopoly. But in the private sector, generally, government will want monopoly not to exist. Okay. So whatever it is, let me tell you, in the case of competition, if we discuss, if there is no competition, it's, monopoly market. It's monopoly market that we are talking about. Understood, friends? Yes, sir, we have understood. Yes, sir, we have understood. This is monopoly market. Next, if competition exists, pay attention, friends. If competition exists, then. If, my dear friends, the competition exists, then it can be perfect competition or it can be imperfect competition. If competition exists, there can be perfect competition or there can be imperfect competition. All right. If competition exists, there can be perfect competition or there might be imperfect competition. Okay. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. Now let me tell you about each one of them bit by bit. Okay. See, it can be perfect competition, it can be imperfect competition. In imperfect competition, it can be monopolistic or it can be oligopoly. So let's discuss that. Let's discuss that one by one. Okay, let's go ahead, friends. See, if we are talking about perfect competition, Now we talk about each one of them one by one. All right. Perfect competition. Please remember, there is no market in this world on earth that is a real example of perfect competition. There is no real example of perfect competition. Let me tell you this. There is no real example of perfect competition. Let me tell you this first. Perfect competition का कोई real example नहीं. But a market similar to perfect competition is like a vegetable or an agricultural market. Market for agricultural produce. It might closely resemble perfect competition, but is exactly not perfect competition. No, not at all. Now let's talk about it. See, if we talk about perfect competition, like a vegetable market, what is this market characterized of? It contains infinitely large number of buyers and sellers. It contains infinitely large quantities of buyers and sellers, infinitely large number of buyers and sellers, infinitely large, very large. And you all know there is no market where there are infinite buyers and infinite sellers, but here it is. And you know what? All of them are selling homogeneous products. What is homogeneous products, sir? Homogeneous product means products which are exactly the same. They are, as a matter of fact, replica, exactly same. Exactly same means their brand is same, okay, their quantity is same, color is same, content is same, design is same, discounting, warranty, etc. are also the same. So it's like their exact replica of one another. It's like their exact replica of one another. That, my dear friends, is what we call a homogeneous market. Homogeneous market, which are exactly the same. Got it? Next, we talk about price decision. Price decision. Who decides the price in this market? Whose price, sir? Price of commodities. It's not the buyers. It's not the sellers. Then, sir, who? It's the market forces of demand and supply. Market forces of demand and supply. What does it mean? You will remember I taught you in the first class price mechanism. Yes. So the price at which, my dear friends, the price at which quantity demanded becomes equal to quantity supplied. The price at which this happens, that is quantity demanded becomes equal to quantity supplied. The price at which this happens, that is the quantity demanded becomes equal to quantity supplied. At that price, we say that the market price has been determined. Oh, sir, we remember this kind of diagram you had drawn. This is demand curve, this is supply curve. The price at which demand and supply are becoming equal, it is the price that is going to prevail in the market for that particular product. Acha, yes, sir, we remember. So there are 3 points now. Perfect competition features. Yes, all these features we will study again in much more details. I told you now, this chapter is more of a summary for upcoming chapter. That's why you are seeing that I am not staying a lot on one particular point. But in the upcoming classes, we will again do all these points. But here, pay attention. Try and understand. Infinitely large number of buyers and sellers, all selling homogeneous commodities. All selling homogeneous. Homogeneous means products which are exactly the same. Where price decision is not taken by buyers, not by sellers. Who takes price decision? Market forces. Everybody write down in the chat, market forces of demand and supply. Write down in the chat, everybody, market forces of demand and supply. Everybody in the chat, please, fatafat write it down. Market forces of demand and supply. Come on, friends. Next one is price elasticity of demand. Next one is price elasticity of demand. Next one is price elasticity of demand. So let me tell you, friends. Here the price elasticity of demand. Here the price elasticity of demand is infinite. Here the price elasticity of demand is infinite. Means a very small change in price will lead to a large change in quantity. You know why? Because there are infinite sellers. So even if one seller thinks of increasing the price, his or her product's demand will fall by a lot, because none of the consumers will buy from him or her, because there are already infinite buyers, sellers of this product. Now, very important point, perfect knowledge. Absolutely important point. This market is characterized by existence of perfect knowledge. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean, sir? Perfect knowledge. It means basically perfect knowledge means buyers and sellers have complete knowledge. It means buyers and sellers have complete knowledge of whatever is going on in the market. It means buyers and sellers have complete knowledge of whatever is going on in the market. Acha, sir. Yes. So buyers know at what price buying and selling should take place. Sellers know at what price buying and selling should take place. So both of them are having perfect knowledge. Both of them are having perfect knowledge, is what I'm saying, friends. Acha, we got it, sir. So there is perfect knowledge here, that is both with the buyers and with the sellers. Complete knowledge, as I would call it, about the prices. So even if one seller increases the price now, all the buyers will come to know of it. And even if one seller reduces the price, all the sellers will come to know of it, and all the sellers will reduce their prices as well. You know, this market is characterized by freedom of entry and exit. You can enter the market, you can leave the market, nobody is stopping you. I'm talking about perfect competition. So my dear friends, is perfect competition market absolutely crystal clear? Yes or no, please? Friends, come on. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. Then we talk about a market which is called monopolistic competition. You know, here there is monopoly as well as competition. Sir, how is it possible? Now, my dear friends, you must have seen some of your friends like Nike shoes. Some of them would like, let's say, shoes of Puma, for example. Some of your friends like Nike shoes, some of them might like Puma shoes. Now, see, Nike on its own is a particular brand, Puma on its own is a particular brand. But so there is a brand monopoly. The person who likes Nike will consume Nike only. The person who likes Puma will consume Puma only. So there is this brand monopoly. But guys, try and think of this. Each brand has to compete with the other brand having similar monopoly. So Puma will have to compete with the monopoly of Nike. Nike will have to compete with brand monopoly of Puma. And hence there is some competition also. This, my dear friends, combined together, we call it to be what? We call it to be monopolistic competition, where there is monopoly with the existence of competition. And that is monopolistic competition. That is monopolistic competition, where there is monopoly in the market, plus there is competition going on in the market. That is monopolistic competition, where there are large number of sellers. You know, there is some kind of product differentiation. Here there is large number of sellers, there is product differentiation. So in perfect competition, the products was homogeneous. Homogeneous means exactly same. In perfect competition, the products were what? So the products were homogeneous. Homogeneous means they were exactly the same. They were replicas of one another. Yes? Yes, sir. They were replicas of one another. But here, there is some kind of difference. So let's say, you know, Puma will try to say that my shoes are different from Nike because of better design. Nike will say, I have this Air Jordans, which are way lighter. They can change color. So each one of, at the end of the day, both are selling shoes only. But each one of them are, you know, trying to disaggregate or differentiate between their products. And that, my dear friend, talks about product differentiation. Got it? Now see, here, price elasticity of demand under perfect competition was infinite. But here, you know, price elasticity of demand is large. You know why? Because consumers have an option. We have discussed that if consumers get an option, elasticity is going to be high. Elasticity of demand is going to be high if consumers get an option. Did you remember this? Yes, sir. We do remember this. That if consumers given an option, consumers will always want to shift to another commodity if a lot of price changes take place. So therefore elasticity is large or high here because consumers have an option. And then there is price control. Sellers have some control over the price. Like in the perfect competition, sellers did not really have any control. It was the market forces that was controlling the price. Here, at least Puma can decide the price of its own shoes. Nike, and then this Bata and other brands can do the similar thing. And hence, our monopolistic competition is over. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Remember, for perfect competition, there is no real example on earth. Monopolistic competition, I have already given you example of shoe industry. Understood, not understood, friends? Can I move on to oligopoly, friends? Can I move on to oligopoly, friends? Yes, sir. Yes. Now we are talking about oligopoly market. What is oligopoly market? It's a market characterized by a very small number of sellers. It's a market characterized by very small number of sellers. Airline manufacturer. I'm not saying airline operating companies. I'm talking about airline manufacturers. On the entire planet Earth or in the entire world, there are only two. There is this Airbus. There is this Airbus, and the other one is Boeing Airlines. Yes. So only these two are manufacturing aircrafts, Boeing and this Airbus. Or you can say in the soft drink market, you mainly have two brands only. This two companies only. There is this Coca-Cola, and then there is this PepsiCo. Coca-Cola, INC, and PepsiCo. Yes, under them Mountain Dew, Sprite, so many other things come. I am not trying to say that. What I'm trying to tell you is the company are only two, that is oligopoly, where very few sellers are present. So write down in the chat, everybody. In oligopoly, there are few sellers. Everybody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat right now. In oligopoly, there are few sellers. Everybody. In oligopoly, there are few sellers. In monopolistic competition, yes, price decision sellers can take on their own. Obviously they will have to follow what market is doing, but then largely they can take their own decisions. Okay, but in oligopoly, if we talk about oligopoly, my dear friends, then here degree of control is lacking. Small degree of control. Small degree of control. Some control over price, not large control over price. Some control over price, not large control over price. Understood, sir? So in oligopoly, there are few sellers who have some control, not very large control over the happenings in the market. We got it, sir. There are few sellers, right, sir? Some control over price. All right. Now moving on. So there are small number of sellers. Okay. Price differentiation, none too substantial. So their prices are reasonably the same. Elasticity of demand is small. So you cannot move to another person. Why? Because there are only few sellers in the market. So elasticity is small here, price elasticity. And degree of control, again, they have control over price. But they are also dependent on the competition. Like what competition is doing. You see, if Coca-Cola is launching 1 liter bottles, Pepsi is doing the same. If Coca-Cola is launching some lemonade, Pepsi will do the same. Understood? That, my dear friends, is called interdependence. So write down in the chat, everybody. In oligopoly, there is interdependence. So you will always keep a watch on what your competition is doing, and you will exactly replicate that. Because in the market, when there are very few sellers, you tend to adopt such behavior. Okay, sir. We got it. And finally comes the monopoly market. Monopoly is a market where there is only one seller. There is no close substitute. Indian Railways, for example. Is there any close substitute of Indian Railways? Not really. And therefore, elasticity of demand is very small. You know why? Because consumers have no other option. They don't have any choice. Whatever the price be, they will have to buy on the same seller, na? And therefore the choice is very limited. Therefore the choice is very limited, and hence the monopoly market. Sir, we get it, sir. Next, who decides the price in monopoly market? It is obviously the seller who decides the price. It is obviously seller who decides price in a monopoly market, and hence our answer. So my dear friend, if this much is crystal clear, can I move on to our next head, which is concept of revenue? Are we ready, friends? Can we move on there? Remember, in monopoly, there is a single seller. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. So now, if you talk about revenue, pay attention, friends. Revenue means sales value. Revenue means sales value. What is revenue? Revenue means sales value, friends. So let's say price of a product is 10 rupees per unit and quantity is 500. Let's say price of a product is rupees 10 per unit and quantity is 500. What is total revenue equal to? Total revenue is equals to 10 into 500, which is 5,000 rupees. Total revenue equals to 5 rupees 10 into 500, which is rupees 5,000. Total revenue is rupees 5,000. Acha, sir, is that so? Yes, my dear friends, that is so. Sir, we have understood this. So that is total revenue. Revenue refers to the sales value. So if a price is 10 rupees per unit, quantity is 500. So the total revenue is 10 into 500, which is 5,000 rupees. Which is 5,000 rupees. Now, if we divide total revenue into two subtypes, there can be, perfect competition and imperfect competition. You know why we have divided this? Because, in perfect competition, to sell more, perfect competition prices don't change. In perfect competition, price will be constant. There will be no change in price. You know why? Because market is determining the price. So suppose this is the demand, this is the supply. Once the market has decided this, there will be no change. So price will be constant. So the concept of total revenue, we will have to understand separately in perfect competition. And in imperfect competition, in order to sell more, in order to increase the quantity sold, they might reduce the prices. They means the producers. And that is imperfect competition. In imperfect competition, all of these, be it, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, all of these are coming. Oligopoly, monopolistic competition. Achha, my dear friends, one more thing I want to tell you. There is another type of market called monopsony. Write down in the chat. What is it called? Monopsony. Everybody write it down in the chat. What did I say? Monopsony. Monopoly is one seller, many buyers. Monopsony is one buyer, many sellers. Monopsony is one buyer, many sellers. Write down in the chat. I will give you an example. Monopsony means one buyer, many sellers. One buyer, many sellers. Monopsony means one buyer, many sellers, multiple sellers. Absolutely clear. So now let's go about it. Remember, acha, monopsony example is, Indian Railways again. How, sir? Suppose for the railway platform, government needs certain kind of iron plating. Now, there are many players in the market who are doing this iron thing, but buyer is only government because it will only suit the purpose of railways. So one buyer, many sellers. That is monopsony market. Understood? That is monopsony market. When there is only one buyer, that is monopsony market. Another could be defense equipments like missiles and all. In our country, who is the sole buyer? Obviously, government of India. It cannot happen that, suppose I have too much money. So I order Russia to send me some Sukhoi missiles, some Sukhoi aircraft fighters. I have a lot of money. It cannot happen that I call America and ask them to send me some, this F-35 and the Raptors that they call it, the fighting aircrafts. I cannot do that. It's only the government that can do that. And hence, my dear friends, that is a monopoly market, where there is only one buyer in the entire market of a particular product. Sir, we understood. So now, my dear friends, what did I say? Total revenue. Total revenue means total sales value. Everyone write it down in the chat. Total revenue means total sales value. Now we will discuss perfect competition first. Total revenue means total sales value. Total revenue means total sales value. Everybody write it down in the chat, please. Yes. Okay. So now, my dear friends, pay attention. Now, my dear friends, pay attention. See, price is constant in a perfectly competitive market. Price is constant in a perfectly competitive market. Now, quantity, they are constantly increasing. Quantity, they are constantly increasing. So, see, price is constant and quantity is constantly rising. Quantity is constantly rising. Remember, we are doing perfect competition. So the curves of revenue are different in perfect and imperfect competition. Don't consider this to be same. It is very wrong. It is a sin to do that. Remember that when you're talking about perfect competition, you have got to remember price will remain the same. First, full stop. The later things will, join. But the main thing is to be keeping the price constant, to ensure that the price is kept constant. Now, when you change the quantity, the total revenue is constantly changing. The total revenue is constantly changing that way. Okay, there is no doubt there. But in the scheme of these things, we have got to remember that when you draw this curve, like see, total revenue, what is happening? It's constantly rising. Look at the quantity levels. Look at the quantity levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like this. I'll show it to you. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Now, if you see the diagram, just a moment. If you see the diagram, this is total revenue 10. So here it is intersecting. 20. Here it is intersecting. 30. Here it is intersecting. 40. Here it is intersecting. That is the total revenue curve. That is the total revenue curve. Acha, is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is. Total revenue is total sales value. So price is constant, quantity is on the rise, and therefore total revenue, and therefore total revenue. Here it is going upwards. Here it is going upwards. Acha, sir, is that so? Yes, sir, we have understood this. Now, my dear friends, remember something, that total revenue is equals to price into quantity. Okay? Total revenue is price into quantity. So what is price is equals to? It is total revenue by quantity. So remember, price is always equals to average revenue, because total revenue by quantity is also average revenue. So remember, always, be it perfect competition or be it imperfect competition, one thing is for sure, price is always equals to average revenue. Price is always equal to average revenue. Price is always equal to average revenue. I believe you all will remember this, friends. Okay, sir. So here it is. Here it is. We have understood this. So price is total revenue by quantity, which is average revenue. Which is average revenue. Now, since average, see, price is constant here, quantity is changing constantly. So total revenue is increasing this way. Okay. Now, when we talk about average revenue is total revenue by quantity. Average revenue is total revenue by quantity. So remember, average revenue is equals to price. average revenue is equals to price. Okay. Then if we talk about it in perfect competition, remember, very important line, all of you remember, in perfect competition. Now see, price and average revenue is same. Here marginal revenue is also same. You know why? Because every time you are selling additional unit, you are making 10 rupees. See, from 10 to 20, again revenue increased by 10. I have told you what is marginal revenue? Change in total revenue. Change in total revenue. What is marginal revenue? Change in total revenue due to one additional unit being sold. Yes, sir. So see, it's changing by 10 again. It's changing by 10 again. It's changing by 10 again. Okay, got it, sir. Got it, sir. And so remember, in perfect competition, you know, if this is the quantity, since price is constant, average revenue is constant, and marginal revenue is same. So P equals to AR equals to MR. Remember, we are talking about perfect competition. In perfect competition, the total revenue curve is going to be upward sloping like this, and price is equals to average revenue equals to marginal revenue. Please remember this. Price is equals to average revenue equals to marginal revenue. Everybody, you will write down in the chat only, then I will move forward. What you have to write, that in perfect competition, price equals to average revenue equals to marginal revenue. First write it down, then only I will proceed. Acha, sir, we have understood. Sir, we have understood. Now, having said that, if you have understood this, let's talk about imperfect competition. Now, in imperfect competition, what happens, friends, is that, you know, here, in order to sell more, average revenue, or I would say prices are reduced. Remember, we are talking about imperfect competition. In fact, you know, in monopoly also, they have to reduce the price to sell more, despite monopoly. So prices are reduced in order to sell more of the quantity. In order to sell more of the quantity. In order to sell more of the quantity. You see, as prices are falling, quantity is increasing. So total revenue is changing. Remember, yes, here also average revenue is equals to price. But you see, initially the total revenue was 0. Now it increased by 10. Then it increased by 8. Then it increased by 6. Then it increased by 4. Then it increased by 2. Then it did not increase at all. Gradually it started falling. Gradually total revenue started falling. Gradually you see total revenue has started falling. So marginal revenue has become negative that way. So marginal revenue has become negative that way. Yes, sir, we did understand this. So my dear friends, when this happens, you all see what will happen. See, total revenue is rising. It has become maximum. Once it has become maximum, it has started falling again. So that is the logic. That total revenue rises, it achieves its maximum, and then it starts falling. Total revenue is rising, it has become maximum, and then it starts falling. And then it starts falling. Right, sir? Right. But then price is constantly falling. So you see here, price is constantly, average revenue is constantly falling. Remember, average revenue will fall, but average revenue will not become 0 or negative. It means price is negative, which is not possible. But yes, you see, beyond a certain level, marginal revenue can become negative. Yes, marginal revenue can become negative. Yes, marginal revenue can become negative. Remember this. Marginal revenue can become negative. Absolutely. I hope, friends, it is crystal clear. I hope, friends, it is crystal clear. Everybody, yes or no? Yes, sir. So when we talk about this, imperfect competition situation, here prices are reduced in order to sell more. Prices are reduced in order to sell more. And therefore, total revenue rises and marginal revenue constantly falls. So see what is happening. TR is rising, becoming maximum and falling. MR is becoming negative. AR is also falling. AR is also falling from the same point. Remember, when TR is maximum, MR is 0. And you know what? There is one thing which you must know. that MR and AR can be interrelated to each other. MR and AR can be interrelated to one another. In fact, the relation goes like MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. E means elasticity. E means elasticity. Remember this relation, very important relation between MR and AR. MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. So suppose elasticity, E means elasticity obviously. So if elasticity is 1, you put 1 here, so it will become 0. So therefore, if elasticity is 1, then marginal revenue equals to 0. If elasticity is 1, marginal revenue equals to 0. If let's say elasticity is greater than 1, if obviously it is greater than 1, this thing will be positive, and so marginal revenue will be positive. If E is less than 1, MR will be negative. So very important, please remember. If E is equal to 1, MR is 0. If E equals to 1, MR is equals to 0. If E is equals to 1, MR equals to 0. If E is greater than 1, MR is positive. If E equal to 1, MR is 0. If E is greater than 1, MR is positive. And if E is less than 1, MR is negative. Marginal revenue is negative. So these are the 3 things that you must remember. If E is 1, MR is 0. And how do you remember this relation? Just by merely putting the values here. You put whatever value of E greater than 1 here, you will automatically find MR will be something positive only. Acha, that's easier to remember. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So this is the relation MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. Now, please remember, when you draw the graph, remember at E equals to 1, you are somewhere here. U means the total revenue. The total revenue is somewhere here. For E greater than 1, it is rising, and for E less than 1, total revenue is falling. A very important, very, very important, very, very important. I will write it down for you all. So if elasticity is greater than 1, total revenue will rise. If elasticity equals to 1, total revenue will achieve its maximum. And if elasticity is less than 1, total revenue will start falling. Total revenue will start falling. Total revenue will start falling. Got it, sir? So if elasticity is greater than 1, it is rising. If elasticity equals to 1, it is max. If elasticity is less than 1, it is falling. TR curve is falling. Now, my dear friends, I have a wish to, ask you some MCQs right away. Are you ready for it, guys? All right then, sir. Sir, we are definitely ready. You can start, sir. All right then. If price of a product is 10, what will AR be equal to? A good question. If price of a product is rupees 10, what will its average revenue be equal to? 20, 30, 10 or 0? Come on, everybody. I need your answer, please. Absolutely. Always price is equal to average revenue. So answer is going to be C. Always, always, be it perfect competition, be it imperfect competition, price and average revenue are always equal. I've repeated it multiple times. Okay. What if elasticity is greater than 1? Then what will marginal revenue be? Will it be positive? Will it be negative? Will it be 0? Or will it be all of them? What say? What say? Come on, friends. So if we talk about this, you all remember if elasticity is greater than 1, MR will be positive. That's right. Positive. Correct. See, I told you if E is 1, MR is 0. If E is greater than 1, MR is equals to positive, and if E is less than 1, MR is negative. These are the very important things that you all have got to remember, must remember, everybody. What if E is 1? What will MR be equal to? If E is 1, what will MR be equal to? If E is 1, what is MR equal to? Yes, you all are correct. If E is 1, MR is 0. That's right. If E is 1, MR is 0. And remember, when TR is maximum, E is equals to 1. When TR is maximum, E equals to 1. It is not the inflection point. No, the word inflection point is only used in total product. Why are we using it here? We must not use it here. It is just a normal point where TR is max. TR is max when E equals to 1. Full stop. Now moving on. Markets operating under immediate payment and delivery system. Wow, good question. Let's see who is able to answer this after all. Markets operating under immediate payment and delivery system. What say? Is it spot market? Is it future market? Is it regulated market? Is it unregulated market? Friends, I think the answer should be regulated market. What do you think? I will understand how many of you are listening with this answer. Market operating under immediate payment and delivery system. I think it should be regulated market. Nah, it is not correct. Obviously, it's not regulated market. Market under immediate payment and delivery system is a spot market, not a regulated market. Where there is a regulator, that is a regulated market. Obviously not. It will be spot market. Very good. All of you are answering the same thing. I can see that. Wow. So you have been listening. Yes. A good question. One of the best questions till now. Market whose elasticity is small. Is it oligopoly market with smaller elasticity, monopoly market, perfect competition market, or both of them? What say, friends? What say, friends? What say, friends? Yes, sir, we have understood. Yes, sir, we have understood. See, in oligopoly market, you pay attention, guys. Option A, oligopoly market. Now, see, we are talking about small elasticity. Small elasticity is when you have little option. In oligopoly, only there are 2 to 3 players. In monopoly, there is only 1 player. So the elasticity is small in both the cases. Both in oligopoly and monopoly, elasticity is less. In monopoly, very less. Oligopoly, slightly more than monopoly. But overall, we will consider it to be less only. But on overall basis, we will consider it to be less only. Acha. So yes, oligopoly, monopoly, both the answer is D. Both A and B. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir, we have understood. Yes, sir, we have understood. Now moving on to the next one. We talk about behavioral principles. Now I will talk about behavioral principles. Behavioral principle means how should a firm behave? When should a firm continue production? When should a firm halt the production? Should stop the production? We are discussing that now. Right? We are talking about that behavioral principle. So now, my dear friends, the behavioral principles are: number 1, if you are not able to recover total variable cost, you should stop production. See, whenever you incur a total cost, you means a firm. See, whenever a firm is incurring total cost, जब भी firm total खर्चे कर रहा है, तो उसमें 2 तरीके के खर्चे involved है. एक फिक्स कॉस्ट और वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. अब आप सोचिए, if you have a factory, you think if you have a factory, even if you are not producing anything, you'll have to pay the factory rent. So fixed cost you are still incurring. Fixed cost you are still incurring. That is not the problem, or that is not the agenda. Total fixed cost you are still incurring. Where is the problem, sir? The problem is with total variable cost. If you are not producing, what is your loss? Sir, total fixed cost. But if when you are producing and you are not able to recover the total variable cost also, then to your loss is increased. You are incurring the loss of TFC already. Now you have started incurring the loss of TVC. So in order for a firm to produce or to keep production on, at least the sales price, that is the total revenue, should be able to recover total variable cost. Understood? Now, for example, I'll tell you, suppose I'll tell you that firm, firm has a fixed cost of 1 lakh per annum. Okay, 1 lakh per annum. Pay attention, everyone. Now, firm is manufacturing raw materials. Firm is manufacturing raw materials 1000 pieces. Okay, so 1000 into 5 rupees per piece. So the firm is getting 5000. Firm has to pay 5000 for raw material. Raw material is a variable cost. Now, when the firm is selling the output, it is selling at 4000. Arey to Baba, firm is not even able to recover variable cost. Forget about fixed cost. So firm should not produce. At least when the firm will stop production, the loss of total variable cost will stop. Only loss of total fixed cost will be incurred. So in order for firm to continue production, total fixed cost may or may not be recovered, but at least variable expenses should be completely recovered. At least variable cost should be completely recovered. Understood, not understood, friends? Yes or no, please? Yes or no, please? Come on, everyone. Yes, sir. Yes. So, my dear friends, remember this very carefully. Remember this very carefully. I'll tell you that here. One thing is very clear. I'll repeat it again. Let me give you an example. Okay, I'm making an example. Okay, let's make an example. Okay. Suppose a firm, there is a firm. Okay, this is the owner of the firm. There are two types of cost that the firm is incurring. One is rental cost. Okay, let's say the rental payment is rupees 1.5 lakh per year. Rupees 1.5 lakh per year. Okay. Now, there is raw material cost, which is variable in nature. Let's say raw material cost is rupees 5 per unit. Okay, this much clear? Okay. Now, suppose the firm has produced 50,000 units of raw material. Okay, you means purchased and manufactured. So raw material cost will be how much? That is total variable cost will be how much? So if you talk about total variable cost, it will be 50,000 per piece, 5 rupees cost. So it will be total 2,50,000 is the total variable cost. Correct? Now the rental income is 1.5 lakh. If we say the total cost has two components: total fixed cost and total variable cost. Okay. So total fixed cost is how much? Total fixed cost is 1.5 lakh rent. And what is the variable cost? Which is the raw material cost of 2.5 lakh. So sir, what is the total cost? Rupees 4 lakh. Guys, this much you have understood. Shall I continue the story further? Everybody confirm this much? This much part of the story understood? Itna samajh aaya? Yes, sir, we have understood this much. Now pay attention. I'm telling you something. Suppose the firm is able to sell the finished goods. Suppose the firm is able to sell the finished goods at, pay attention, friends. Suppose the firm is able to sell the finished goods at rupees 4 per unit. So 50,000 units were manufactured using raw material. So what is the total revenue? 50,000 into 4, rupees 2 lakh. So should this firm continue production? No. You know why? Not because, see, the total cost is 4 lakh and the total revenue is 2 lakh. No, that is not the reason. You see, if the firm was not producing anything, अगर कुछ नहीं कर रहा होता तो सिर्फ रेंट देना पड़ता, कुछ नहीं भी कर रहा होता तो रेंट देना पड़ता, कितने का 1.5 लाख का, तो लॉस कितने का होता 1.5 लाख का. What would have been the loss if nothing was produced? The rental loss, which is 1.5 lakh. But when it had decided to produce, the loss in terms of fixed cost was already there. The firm is not even able to recover variable cost. Total variable cost is 2.5 lakh, right? Firm is recovering only 2 lakh. So it is better it should stop producing, because if it produces, it was already incurring loss in terms of fixed cost. Now it is also incurring loss in terms of variable cost. So loss is increasing. So to produce, at least firm should be able to recover the total variable cost. Now is it crystal clear? First behavioral principle, yes or no, please. Yes or no, please. Yes or no, please. Come on, friends. Now it has to be crystal clear. Come on, friends. Yes. Yes, sir. This is crystal clear. मतलब अगर प्रोडक्शन करना है तो अपना जो वेरिएबल खर्चा है कम से कम वो निकाल लीजिए. अपना जो वेरिएबल खर्चा है कम से कम वो निकाल लीजिए. फिक्स खर्चा तो चलिए बाद में आप रिकवर करिएगा, पहले अपना वेरिएबल खर्चा निकाल लीजिए. अगर आप वेरिएबल खर्चा भी लॉस कर रहे हैं तो इससे बेटर आप बैठ जाइए घर पे, प्रोडक्शन मत कीजिए. Second point. If a firm wants to maximize profit, it should produce. If it should produce till MR equals to MC and MC cuts MR from below. What is it? MR should be equal to MC. What does it mean, sir? What does it mean, sir? I will explain you with a very simple example. Pay attention, friends. Okay, I'll draw this diagram again. Pay attention. Okay, pay attention. See, what is MR? Pay attention, everyone. MR is additional revenues. What is MR, sir? Sir, MR is additional revenue. Sir, what is MC? MC is additional cost. Obviously, I know it is marginal cost, we call it additional cost. Okay. Now suppose, now my dear friends, suppose, I'll tell you. See, we have understood the law of costs again and again, the two costs. Okay, we had studied in a perfectly competitive market. Let's talk about perfect competition. AR equals to MR equals to P. This is the shape of MR. This much understood? Yes or no, please. This much understood? Yes or no, please. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we agree. Yes, sir, we agree. Now, friends, what is the shape of marginal cost? Marginal cost is U shape. All of you will agree. Yes, sir, we agree. Now see, if you see MC equals to MR, it is becoming equal not at one place, but two places. Point A, point B. So are both called the equilibrium point? No, both are not called the equilibrium points. See, what is happening at point A? What is happening at point A? Here, MC has become equal to MR, but there is a problem. What is the problem? Initially, if you see the curve carefully, MC was greater than MR. So suppose you were incurring an additional cost of 3 rupees while you were able to sell that additional product manufactured at 2 rupees only. So will you want to stop here? It means to you have made losses. Once the losses are over, you have stopped production. Is this the right thing to do? No, you should continue further production. Now here what is happening? You see, suppose MR is margin, additional revenue is 20 rupees and additional cost is 5 rupees. So this is a good position to be in, where you are able to generate more. Every extra product you manufacture, suppose the cost is 5 rupees, 6 rupees, 7 rupees, and revenue is 20 rupees. So whatever it is, if you are able to sell the additional product at a greater price, you are the winner. Now at point B, what is happening? Again, both of them have become equal 20-20 each. Beyond this, if you continue production, now marginal cost has become 30 rupees, revenue is 20 rupees. So is it logical to produce beyond B? Guys, you all tell me, is it logical to produce beyond B? क्या B के आगे प्रोडक्शन करना चाहिए जहां पे मेरा बनाने का खर्चा अगर 30 है तो मेरे को मिल रहा 20 है? Is it logical to continue beyond B? आप ही लोग बताइए yes or no. क्या लगता है आपको बिजनेस सेंस? A simple question. A simple question. No, sir, we should not. Because additional cost is 30 rupees and additional profit is 20 only. Additional revenue is 20 only. So, where should the firm stop? At point B, this is what is written. Firm maximizes profit and expand output till MC become MR at the second time. That is when MC is cutting MR from below. You see, MC cuts MR from below. That is the best point. Firm should stop there. Yes or no, everybody? Is that clear? The two behavioral principles? Yes. So stop at B. That is the second behavioral principle. Now, my dear friends, some doubts I have got. I will explain those doubts. Pay attention. So the question is, first of all, one good news. That this topic, this unit is over. But now, coming to doubts and MCQ. Pay attention. Okay. First doubt that I have received is from one of my friends. I will tell you his name. Aditya Darshan. So what he is telling is that, sir, is monopoly and monopolistic competition different? These two. Yes, they are different. In monopoly, there is only one seller. In monopolistic competition, there are many sellers. In monopolistic competition, the name is monopolistic competition. Why? Because like Puma, Nike, they have brand names. So there is a kind of brand monopoly. That's why monopolistic word is used. But still they have to compete because there are close substitutes. In monopoly, there is no close substitute in the market. Aju baju, aspas koi nahi hai. So yes, they are different, my dear friends. Understood, sir. My dear friends, the next doubt I got from you all was, yes, sir, this relationship behavior between MR and AR. Here it is. Relationship behavior between MR and AR. So friends, the relationship is somewhat like MR is equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. MR is equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. MR is equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. Acha, sir. What is MR equal to? It is equal to AR into E minus 1 by E. So suppose E is 1. If you put E1 here, 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So this entire thing becomes 0. So MR is 0. Understood, sir? Understood. So therefore, when E is 1, MR is 0. When E is 1, MR is 0. Okay, sir. When E is greater than 1, suppose you put a value greater than 1 here. Suppose 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2, positive. This is also positive. So MR will be positive if E is greater than 1. And third, if E is less than 1, MR equals to negative. And yes, there is nothing called inflection point here. There is nothing called inflection point here. Nothing called inflection point here. So when E is 1, MR is 0. E is greater than 1, MR will be positive. E is less than 1, MR will be negative. Why? Because of this relationship. MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. Okay. Then let's move on to another question one of our friends asked. One of my friends have asked me that, sir, could you tell us the second and the first behavioral principle once again in Hindi? Yes, I will do that. आई विल डू दैट। मैं दोनों प्रिंसिपल्स आपको हिंदी में समझा देता हूँ। देखिए, पहला बिहेवियरल प्रिंसिपल कहता है कि एक फर्म को तभी प्रोडक्शन आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए जब कम से कम वो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, फिक्स कॉस्ट नहीं, कम से कम वो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट को रिकवर कर पा रहा है। पहली बात ये हो गई। अब मैं दूसरी बात पर आ रहा हूँ। सेकेंड बात है, एक फर्म प्रॉफिट्स मैक्सिमाइज करेगा। एक फर्म प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइज करेगा कब? जब वो एमआर और एमसी इक्वल करे। सर इसका क्या मतलब है? देखिए, एमआर का मतलब है कि हर जो नया प्रोडक्ट आप बनाते हो उस एडिशनल बनाए हुए प्रोडक्ट को आप कितना में बेच रहे हो, और एमसी का मतलब है हर एडिशनल बनाए हुए प्रोडक्ट के लिए आपको खर्चा कितना लग रहा है। ठीक है, अब आप लोग सोचिए पहले क्या हो रहा है। पहले मेरा खर्चा ज्यादा है, रेवेन्यू कम है। शुरुआत में आप देखिए ना, जब इस कर्व को आप देखेंगे, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट अगर 30 का है, मार्जिनल रेवेन्यू सिर्फ 10-20 का है मान लीजिए, तो आपका बनाने का खर्चा ज्यादा लग रहा है, तो आपको भी और प्रोडक्शन करने का दरकार है। अब देखिए इधर जब हम लोग हैं तो बना रहे हैं हम लोग, मतलब हम लोग बेच पा रहे हैं एडिशनल यूनिट को 20 में, बट बना रहे हैं हम लोग उसको 5 में। कॉस्ट हमारा 5 पड़ रहा है। बेच पा रहे हैं 20 में, बट हमारा खर्चा 5 पड़ रहा है। धीरे धीरे हमारा खर्चा थोड़ा बढ़ता है, बट फिर भी जब भी मैं एडिशनल जो बेच रहा हूँ वो ज्यादा मैं बेच पा रहा हूँ जितना मेरा बनाने से लग रहा है, तब तक ठीक है। बट अब आप लोग देखो यहाँ पहुंचकर क्या हुआ। इसके बियॉन्ड अगर आप देखो, इस पॉइंट के बियॉन्ड, मैं आप लोगों को फिर से डायग्राम बना के दिखाता हूँ। ये रहा पॉइंट बी के बियॉन्ड, आप देखो जिसको मैंने सर्कल किया। इसके बियॉन्ड जब एमसी वापस से ऊपर चला गया, तो मतलब वापस से एडिशनल बनाने का खर्चा 30 है और आपको मिल रहा 20 है। तो क्या ये आपके लिए फायदेमंद है? नहीं। आपको कहाँ रुक जाना चाहिए था? दोबारा जब एमसी और एमआर, मतलब जो एक्स्ट्रा बनाने का खर्चा है और उसको बेच के जो मिल रहा है, जब वो वापस से इक्वल हो जाए दूसरी बार, तब आपको रुक जाना चाहिए था, क्योंकि उसके बियॉन्ड आपका खर्चा ज्यादा लगेगा, रेवेन्यू पैसे कम आएंगे। तो यही सेकंड प्रिंसिपल बोल रहा है कि आप रुक जाओ जब एमआर और एमसी दूसरी बार, जब एमसी एमआर को नीचे से काट रहा है तभी रुक जाइए। अब क्रिस्टल क्लियर है फ्रेंड्स? माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इज इट क्रिस्टल क्लियर? All right. Now, my dear friends, for you all, I have made I would say a formula sheet. All of you must copy this formula. This is the formula from this chapter. All the formulas from this chapter is summarized here. This is your summary notes you can write. Total revenue is price into quantity. Average revenue is equal to price always, and price and average revenue is calculated by total revenue by quantity. How? Total revenue by quantity. How? Total revenue by quantity. That's right. What is perfect competition? In perfect competition, price, average revenue, and marginal revenue are all equal. Understood, sir. Marginal revenue represents change in total revenue. So when you talk about marginal revenue at a particular level, it is total revenue at that level minus total revenue at level -1. I hope all of you are copying this. This is the formula summary sheet. So suppose you want marginal revenue of third unit. Suppose you see, if this is quantity, this is price, this is total revenue. Okay, quantity 1, 2, 3, price is let's say 10, 8, 9 or 10, 8, 7. Okay, so total revenue is 1 into 10, 10, 2 into 8, 16, 3 into 7, 21. Now what is marginal revenue? So if total revenue has increased by 10 rupees, so it is 10. Here total revenue has increased by 6 rupees, so 6. Here total revenue has increased by how much? By 5 rupees. So MR equals to 5. Understood, sir? Yes, sir, understood. So my dear friends, if you have understood this thing, marginal revenue is always change in total revenue. So for example, if you needed for third unit, what did you do? Total revenue at 3 minus total revenue at 2 is what you did. 21 minus 16 you did na. It gave you 5. So that is what exactly I am talking about. That is exactly what I am talking about. See, my dear friends, yes, initially, one of our friends is saying, yes, I will repeat. Pay attention, everyone. Yes, I will repeat. First, correct. First, MC is greater than MR. Yes. हाँ, पहले खर्चा ज्यादा है. Correct. You continue production, then it becomes equal. But you should not stop here. Here, MC equals to MR. I wrote correct. It is correct. Beyond this, MR is becoming greater than MC, which is good. But again, MC equals to MR. So the second time MC and MR become equal, you should stop here. So, because beyond this, again, MC is becoming greater than MR. That is absolutely correct, I told you. Initially, MC is MR greater than MR, then it becomes MR greater than MC, and then again MC greater than MR. It is absolutely correct. What I've written here is absolutely correct. Okay. So now moving on, friends. We discussed marginal revenue is nothing but change in total revenue. We discussed marginal revenue is change in total revenue. For example, marginal revenue at third level is total revenue at third level minus total revenue at second level. Okay? Yes. Again, my dear friends, remember one more thing. To calculate total revenue, suppose I need total revenue at level 3. Suppose I need total revenue at level 3. Look at the above table. So what you will do, as I have told, you add marginal revenue up to that level. You add marginal revenue up to that level. So it will be like 10 plus 6 plus 5. It will be like 10 plus 6 plus 5. That gives you 21. So total revenue up to that level, you will have to add them up. You will have to add them up. Okay, sir. So to calculate total revenue, you will have to add marginal revenue up to that level. To calculate total revenue, you will have to add marginal revenue up to that level. I hope you all are noting this down, friends. Next formula sheet is MR equals to AR into E minus 1 by E. Then what did we learn? That if E is 1, MR is 0. If E is greater than 1, MR is positive. And if E is less than 1, MR is negative. We learned this then. Acha, sir. Great, sir. And then we discussed two behavioral principles. This is this entire chapter in one page. Okay. Now see. If TVC is greater than TR, don't produce. Next, your profit will be maximum till you expand output till MR becomes equal to MC. So you should produce more till MR becomes equal to MC. I am sure, friends, you have copied it down or at least taken a screenshot of this page. Very, very important. This entire chapter in one page we have summarized. Yes, sir, it's crystal clear. We can see that. Great. Now, friends, moving on. Let's get into some MCQ business. Okay. Again, 5 more MCQs. 5 we did a few time back. Now we are doing some 5 questions again. Market characterized by a very large number of buyers and sellers. Come on, tell me. Market characterized by a very large number of buyers and sellers. Monopoly, perfect competition, monopolistic competition, or oligopoly. Which one do you think is the correct answer, friends? Okay, one of you want me to zoom 8 point. Here it is. That two behavioral principles. If TVC is greater than TR, then don't produce. Maximum profit is achieved when MR equals to MC. Expand output till MR equals to MC. Now coming back to this point, market characterized by very large number of buyers and sellers. Come on, everybody, answer this. Market characterized by very large number of buyers and sellers. Come on. Absolutely. 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 So the answer is perfect competition. Now moving on. Market where seller has no close substitute. Market where a seller has no close substitute. No close substitute. Come on, answer me. The first one was market with very large number of buyers and sellers. We discussed perfect competition. Market where a seller has no close substitute. What say? Which one is it? Yes. Market where a seller has no close substitute. Is it monopoly, perfect competition, monopolistic competition, or oligopoly? Which do you think has no close substitutes? Come on. No close substitute. Absolutely. So the answer would be, as all of you have rightly pointed out, in monopoly, there is no close substitutes. In oligopoly, there will be two or more than two close substitutes. I gave an example of oligopoly, na? PepsiCo and this one, Coca-Cola IMC. So they are close substitutes. Market with very few sellers. Market with very few sellers. Market characterized by very few sellers. Is it monopoly market? Is it perfectly competitive market? Is it monopolistic competition, or is it oligopoly market? Market with very few sellers. Monopoly, perfect competition, monopolistic competition, or oligopoly? That's right. Oligopoly, because in monopolistic competition also there are large. Perfect competition, very large. Monopoly, only one seller. Oligopoly has few sellers. Oligopoly has few sellers. Monopoly has one seller. Monopoly has one buyer. Perfect competition has very large number of sellers. Monopolistic competition has large number of sellers. Achha. In which market does market force decide prices? Where does market force decide prices and come into play? Is it the perfectly competitive market? Is it the monopoly market? Is it the monopolistically competitive market? Or is it the oligopoly market? Which one is it? Come on, friends. Okay. So, my dear friends, market where market forces decide prices, it's the perfectly competitive market. I told you, perfect competition. Very good. Good answer by everybody. Because market forces decide prices. In monopoly and monopolistic competition or oligopoly, sellers can decide. Market does play a role, but very little. But perfect competition, only market is playing the major role. And hence our answer. Next question, let's see whether you are able to answer. In which markets are the products homogeneous? In which markets are the products homogeneous? Come on, answer me this question. In which market do you see the products being homogeneous? In which market do you see the products are homogeneous? Absolutely correct. So, my dear friends, in which market are the product homogeneous? Absolutely correct. In which markets are the product absolutely homogeneous? Absolutely. So the answer will be products are homogeneous in perfect competition. Perfect competition is the answer. Let me ask you another question. Whether you are able to answer this or not will tell me, let's see. Let me ask you two more MCQs. Okay. Are you up for it, guys? And I'm happy to see people giving correct answers. Okay. See. You all tell me, market where SEBI is regulating stock exchanges is a option A, unregulated market, B, regulated market, C. Monopoly market. D. Monopsony market. Which one do you think is the correct answer, friends? Market where SEBI is regulating stock exchanges. Yes, you all are correct. The answer is regulated market. Next question. Market where large volume of trade, large volume means in bulk quantities, bulk quantity trade takes place. Options are A, wholesale, B, retail, C, regulated market, D, unregulated market. Which one do you think is the correct answer, friends? Where large volume or bulk trade take place. Come on. Wow. So people are telling, sir, wholesale market. Absolutely. So my dear friends, all of us have understood the different concepts of markets, the different types, etc., etc. So this makes me wind up the day today. I'll give you a homework. Everybody must study this chapter, and then we attack the next week where we will do class every day from Monday to Friday, and we will, sum up the business economics portion. So see you all in the next week. Goodbye, everyone. Tata for the day.